Rome. Centuries after its fall, the Roman Empire's legacy is still being felt. When we think of Rome, we think of grandeur, glory, and military conquest. Roman emperors such as Julius Caesar and Caesar Augustus expanded the empire's borders and struck fear into the hearts of its enemies. But it wasn't all sunshine and roses. Rome had its fair share of nutjobs, wackos, and weirdos as leaders. Some were cruel. Some were fools. You certainly wouldn't want any as your leader. Without further ado, here are some rotten Roman rulers who did their best, or should we say worst, to ruin Rome. Imagine the most powerful ruler in the world. Now make him a pervert who engaged in constant orgies and forced kids to frolic like pans and nymphs during his parties. Meet Tiberius, who ruled Rome from 14 to 37 AD. Tiberius's debauchery was recorded by the Roman aristocrat Suetonius, although some people say Suetonius was prone to exaggeration. Thankfully for Rome, Tiberius soon tired of city life and retired to a love palace in Capri. He died at the age of 77. Some say he was smothered to death by his great-nephew Caligula. Up next is Caligula, who ruled from 37 to 41 AD. This murderous madman regularly flew into rages and constantly battled his enemies in the Roman Senate. He even named his horse to the Senate just to spite them. So how bad was Caligula? Well, he was a sadist who killed people for fun and regularly slept with other men's wives, and possibly even his sisters. Caligula was eventually assassinated by members of the Praetorian Guard, but his twisted legacy lives on in the sordid 1979 film Caligula, starring Malcolm McDowell. Did Nero actually fiddle while Rome burned in 64 AD? Probably not. One Roman historian claimed Nero sang while it burned, and he did love to perform concerts with his lyre. So we know he loved music, but that's about it in terms of Nero's good qualities. Otherwise, he was a complete psychopath. A sadistic killer, he personally murdered his mother, his first wife, as well as his second wife, who was pregnant at the time. After fire destroyed much of Rome, Nero blamed the blaze on Christians and launched a wave of terror against believers, torturing and killing several thousand Christians in the city. His efforts to rebuild the city bankrupted Rome. Hated by aristocrats and commoners alike, in 37 AD Nero was named a public enemy by the Roman Senate. Rather than be captured, he committed suicide. His final words were allegedly, "Qualis artifex pereo," what an artist dies in me. Cruel Commodus was made famous, or rather infamous, by the Ridley Scott film Gladiator. On the silver screen and in real life, the Roman leader was a paranoid and insecure sadist who lusted after his sister and loved to showboat as a gladiator. Commodus regularly fought in the arena and often dressed up as Hercules as a flex of his power. However, one can't help but wonder whether his opponents actually tried hard or whether they threw their matches against the emperor. Like Nero, Commodus also bankrupted Rome due to his misrule. He also had a pesky habit of branding anyone who disagreed with him as a traitor and then executing them. It was a great money-making scheme. After the executions, Commodus would swoop in and confiscate their money and property. Commodus's reign of terror ended in 192 AD after he was strangled to death while taking a bath.